Okay, so this is a re-upload of the previous video that I've now deleted from my YouTube channel because the audio, the in-game audio was just too loud and it really bugged the hell out of me. So I thought, in terms, for the sake of integrity of my channel, because I want to deliver quality clips every time, I decided to redo this. So if you're new, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome as well. Enjoy. This video it's to show you like what I'm thinking throughout this gameplay, and I'll throw in some thoughts about other weapons and so on during this stimless run. And I won't be doing this for every video. Most of my videos will still be without commentary, but I'm going to do one commentary run for each faction, right? I've already done bots, I've done, well, I will have done squids with this one, and I will do bugs after. So yeah, anyway, the reason why I jumped down this area, right, is normally, like 99% of the time, siege artillery will be outside the cities. It's extremely rare that they won't be, so I thought, why not just complete the objectives outside? Because if you think about it, because this run is about trying to kill as many enemies as possible, is if I have to start from the city, run out here and run back, that is twice the distance compared to starting here and then running towards the city. Well, I spotted a hell bomb, so I decided to destroy those guys there instead of just throwing sentries or whatever. Always look for hell bombs first before you shoot, because that really helps. But anyway, as I was saying before, it's far faster to start where the siege artillery or whatever it is, rather than run up, run back, right? Because then you're spending double the amount of time. And if you try to do this later, when the patrol or spawns are much, much higher, this becomes a fucking nightmare to do. So always try to do the siege artillery first, because that's the hardest one to do when you've got enemies like trying to kill you and just spawning a bazillion patrols away. Also, you'll notice, compared to my other squid videos you've watched it, the only difference in this loadout is I have gone the Emancipator Exosuit instead of strafing runs. And like, it's still doable, but with the Emancipator suit, it is so much easier because flying overseers are everywhere. Normally, when they do the defend the Razor Flag or Super Earth, when you're trying to defend the flag, is they'll normally drop, I think, what is it, 2 waves of ships? 2 waves of 3 ships, I think it is. And normally speaking, they normally have shields now, so a lot of times the AA won't kill enough ships for you to handle, because all the enemies that the ships drop there's too many Voteless and everything for 2 sentries to handle, right? So that's where the Emancipator comes in, because it can deal with all the enemies, it can protect your sentries, and protect you extremely well, and you have 3 exosuits now. But this gameplay, despite how good the Emancipator suits are, it's all about the sentries. The sentries are the core of this build, because they allow you to do what I call min-maxing, right? Which is the most effective play possible. Maximum chance of success with minimal chance of risk to you. And you'll see a lot of times I will use terrain to help me navigate around Voteless hordes, okay? Because it's not just about killing, it's about what's the most effective way to do it. Because you can climb all sorts of crates, or you can climb all sorts of obstacles to help direct the Voteless to wherever you want them to be, right? And have them all bunched up more to make it easier for your sentries, so they're more bullet efficient, and also for you just to throw in a single grenade, okay? And also, normally you'll see me kill a lot of watchers here compared to other squid games, and that's because I just don't want to deal with all the reinforcements if I can in this squid game, because for whatever reason, the number of enemies that spawn in Raise the Flag missions for squids seem to be a lot higher than any other mission. So that's generally why I generally don't like watchers calling reinforcements compared to bugs or bots, where I'll let them call whatever reinforcements they want all day, every day, right? And also for bugs is, right now there is no stimulus build that can actually solo raise the flags for bugs. It's just not possible. Because in 2 minutes, they will spawn like 5 chargers, 3 or 4 Bile Titans, and a bazillion Blugs, and you cannot defend that point. Not Stimless. Even Deathless is hard enough as it is. It's extremely hard. Also, you'll see me use fire there instead of just using sickle, simply because I think the fire grenade is a lot quieter, and I'm not trying to attract too much attention. You can see I've already attracted attention, but I think they would run faster if I didn't use a fire grenade, because I believe the detection range of any patrols, nearby patrols, is like 40 meters. If you shoot outside of that, right, and they're more than 40 meters away, then they don't really detect you. But yeah, you'll see me constantly using the map, and you're wondering, like, how do I navigate through Voteless Hordes so well? Or as easy as I make it look here is, watch my Movement Mastery Part 5 video, right, about how to control Voteless Hordes. Because if you're relying on the Guard Dog to help you against Voteless Hordes, it's unnecessary, okay? You are faster than a Voteless. If you're getting caught off guard, in the nicest way possible, it is an absolute skill issue, okay? You do not need a Guard Dog to kill your Voteless. You just need your primary weapon and grenades if you need it. So, like, once you've freed up the space you'd normally use for a Guard Dog, you've got so much more freedom to pick another stratagem, right, that's going to help you so much better. Because, think about it, a Guard Dog has a 32 meter... Oh, I'm running around here just because I don't want to deal with them. My grenades can. And also, I'm trying to be careful to time my sentries correctly. Because here's the thing. That flag is a pain in the ass, right? Your sentries will help a lot, and ideally you want them to help you out a lot. You don't want to do this solo, defend the flag or whatever, without sentries. And if you use your sentries too often, you have to end up waiting way too long for your sentries to rearm before you can use them for raise the flag. So I'm just trying to keep track of the sentries' timing so that they both are available, if possible, when I raise the flag. It just makes this run so much easier and so much more manageable. But anyway, back to Guard Dog is... actually, no, I'll talk about that later. This is the easiest of the 3 different types of defend the flag locations. And the way you defend this one is 1 sentry on one side, and you can put 1 sentry on the other. Or actually, normally they don't really come up that side that I just threw. So... but I put them on either entrance simply because I've got both entrances covered. And I'll normally hide over this side where it has no stairs whatsoever, no stairs that can lead up here. So my sentries have absolutely no reason to target me. And I could just defend from this side, and I'm perfectly safe, okay? This is why this is my favorite part of, like, raise the flag, whatever, because this is the best, safest spot, okay? Sentries take care of everything for you. And you can just throw grenades or do pot shots and then hide back. But yeah, I'm actually taking a risk there because my sentry could kill me at any moment. But it won't, simply because they haven't walked up the stairs yet. But yeah, I should head back before my sentry targets and kills me. I'm staying way too long. Yeah, good thing my sentry at the other side is way too occupied. Right. But yeah, I'm trying to conserve my autocannon shots as much as possible for later, because I've still got a whole map to deal with. Yeah, I'm going to finish this absolutely no problem. Okay, so anyway, back to talking about... Actually, let's talk about the dropships first. You can kill them with the autocannon, whatever, but it's just way too much trouble. A lot of times, you actually, with your autocannon, you don't have to aim at the door of the ground ship's entrance, okay? The explosion from the autocannon is so large that if you aim close enough to the door, it will deflect into the ship. So you don't always have to look at the actual door straight on of the ship to be able to kill it with autocannons. Which is nice. Okay, is it realistic? Like, I'll give it a pass, okay? But yeah, anyway, trying to talk about the guard dog again before I get too interrupted is, guard dog range is 32 meters, at least the Liberator one that people seem to favor a lot, primarily to use against overseers. But flying overseers, they can engage you from over 100 meters away, and they will engage you for over 100 meters away. So, most of the time, the guard dog is not even going to be able to engage a flying overseer, okay? And a guard dog needs to can only shoot for 5 seconds, and then it reloads for 10 seconds. Do you know how many times a flying overseer can hit you or shoot you within 10 seconds? It shoots for 1 second, 4 or 5 bursts. Let's just say 5 bursts, okay? 1 second, 5 bursts. Then it reloads for 1.8 seconds. So every 2.8 seconds, it can shoot a burst of 5 shots at you. Within 10 seconds, it can shoot 4 bursts. 4 times 5 is 20 bursts within 10 seconds while you reload. That is crazy, and that's if your guard dog gets to shoot within 32 meters of you, of the flying overseer. Not very efficient. It's a very poor argument for flying overseers. You want flying overseers dead? Use your sentries, okay? They kill far more. They're very easy to navigate around, right? If your sentries are killing you, then you're not placing them correctly. It's very easy to place them. Just place them towards the enemy, and then run around the corner, putting a massive piece of cover between you and the guard dog. I mean, not the guard dog, and the overseer. It's extremely easy. No skill whatsoever. This is probably not the best position. I should have placed it across the street just a little bit to my bit further up. But I only did that because I was pretty confident there was no enemies here, so that would swing around to me. Also, with this Emancipator suit, be careful not to shoot enemies or obstacles too close to you, because if you do that, the game will randomly destroy your arms. Because the explosive pushback from cover too close to you or buildings too close to you is insane, okay? It's not realistic at all, but it's just something you gotta know, right? You can't always complain. You gotta deal with what the game has given you. Yep, no one wants to lose an exosuit with most of its ammo still there. But yeah, since my thoughts with these Emancipator exosuits is normally I'll dedicate 1 suit for each flag, so that's 2 flags, and then I have a 3rd exosuit, normally for the 3rd destroy monolith, for the 3rd objective. So 1 for each of the main objectives, which I think is a pretty good thing. The rest of the times, like, I don't need it for anything else. I can do my normal hit and run tactics with sentries and strafing runs, or except I don't have a strafing run here. But yeah. So I'm focusing on all the AA first. I should really conserve my ammo more and throw... Oh, I don't have incendiary grenades. Oh, that reminds me. Incendiary grenades versus gas grenades. I've mentioned it many times inside my squid videos, but... Like, why would you want to confuse your enemies over killing them? Okay? Because the biggest threats against squids is not the overseers, is not the watchers, is not the harvesters, okay? It is always the Voteless. Simply because they are the biggest nuisance when everything is trying to attack you. You want to be able to kill what you think is the biggest threats, the overseers, the harvesters, because they will do the most damage to you from any distance, right? But it's the Voteless en masse that will push you out of favorable positions to stop you from reloading, to stop you from focusing on the enemies you really want to focus on. That's why they are the biggest threats. Just like with bugs, impalers are not your biggest problem, Bile Titans are not your biggest problem, and charges are never your biggest problem. It is always the masses of little bugs that act as a force multiplier, in addition to everything else. Okay, because by themselves, they're easy, absolutely easy. But it's when they're thrown in with everything else, then they become a nuisance. But anyway, going back to gas, why would you want to confuse enemies or kill them slowly when you have Incendiary that can kill them faster. Because remember, the faster you kill the Voteless, the more space you have for yourself to reload, to change targets, to reposition yourself. Okay, because you can dodge ground overseers and harvesters all day. Okay, but you need space to do it. Okay, because if you don't, you'll panic, you'll get tunnel vision, and guess what? You'll get overwhelmed and blindsided by enemies you didn't see coming, because the Voteless are the ones who pushed you. Yeah, so that's why Gas is just loses to incendiary grenades against squids every single time, because no one cares if you confuse ground overseers when you can dodge them so easily. Just run around a corner. Flying overseers, they just fly so high that they ignore the gas grenades, right? So it doesn't really matter. Even with gas strike, it's like, why would you take gas strike over strafing run that can kill far more often in multiple directions and sentries as well? So anyway, I'm ranting a bit much. I should focus more on the gameplay. Yeah, this one was a little close, but I will say one thing: if anyone like told you like, "Hey, no, this is a better build" or whatever, ask them to prove it and match it against these videos that you're watching, because like anyone can talk, but very few people can prove what they say, right? And if they can't beat it, they've got a skill issue or a loadout issue, or normally both, to be honest, because you can't really tell. Yeah, this is why I love Autocannon Sickle, right? See how easy was that? You don't have to go for tunnel vision. You can just engage targets from afar at your own pace. And I get it, some people don't like that kind of gameplay. They like the madness of being close up. That is perfectly fine. Also, if you're playing solo, one thing I like to do, because you will run out of sentries, okay? Is you'll run out of sentries and you're being chased by flying overseers. I'll normally run around a corner because flying overseers are very fast, and then I'll deploy a resupply with a turret, and because the flying overseer is chasing me, it will normally run into the resupply gun first and get killed, right? That way I don't always have to rely on sentry. On sentries for it. But yeah, again, I'm constantly looking up, seeing, do I want to use a sentry or not? And I've decided yes, because the horde's way too big. But I actually think, should I really use it? I'm like, yeah, because the cooldown time is about 1.5 minutes, and I might draw unwanted attention. So I might as well, because if I draw unwanted attention, it'll probably take me about 1:30 to clear everything here. And I don't deploy the actually, no, I deployed the Gatling? Oh, actually, no, I didn't. Actually, I don't know what I deployed. Was it Machine Gun or Gatling? Either way, oh, I did the Gatling. Okay, maybe that wasn't the smartest thing to do, or did I deploy both? Yeah, I probably just accepted that there's just too many enemies that I will return at a later point. Also, oh, I also know why I did it. Because the Emancipator Exosuit cooldown, right? So, well, it is done, right? But I try to time the cooldown of the sentries and the cooldown of the Emancipator in line for when I want to do the flag, right? Because you don't want to do it with just the Emancipator. Even though you could to defend the flag, it can be a little risky, shall we say. Especially if you're trying to do a stimulus run, right? If you'll probably play a little bit different if you weren't doing stimulus, right? Even with Deathless, this will be so much easier. But yeah, when you're trying to defend the flag, the biggest problem will be probably flying overseers, aside from the Voteless, simply because they can ignore all cover and you're just stuck in a place in a single spot with very little cover. This next raise the flag area is the hardest one because it's a dip. You can't easily escape from it. There's almost no cover for you once you go in to raise the flag. And yeah, I'm gonna take out this ship before I raise the flag because I don't want to deal with it when I'm trying to protect the flag. But Yeah, this is the most dangerous area because you're going to be exposed. Now, where's the best place to deploy the sentries in this area? So normally it should be right here, right now where I am. And on both sides. And I'm going to explain that in a minute once I take out these... I forgot what you call them. Overseers, right? Which I should have checked the map, I was too careless. But yeah, can you imagine, how is a gas strike going to kill that? Right, it isn't. Sentries and strafing run well. But anyway, yeah, those boxes I just shot in that area and on the other side, that's probably the best place to put your sentries, because if you think about it, your grenades, whether you use gas or fire, you can throw them at each corner to kill the Voteless and slow them down before the sentries can touch them. Okay, so you want your sentries to focus on the flying overseers, and you want your grenades to focus on the Voteless. So that's why you have the sentries with a much more limited vision and deploy closer to you, so they can't see the Voteless as much, right? Because if your sentries kill all the flying overseers, okay, you can just run rings around the ground overseers and the Voteless all day with just gas or flame grenades and your primary whatever weapon, right? Because your biggest concern is always going to be the flying overseer heat, even if the Voteless are very close to number one biggest threat, right, as a force multiplier. So yeah, that thing the zombies were on, yeah, again, that part where the street lamps are, that there, on both sides, ideally that's probably where you want the sentries. I deploy them outside because I thought they might kill the flying overseers faster, but no, the sentries will focus too much on the Voteless first and completely drain their ammo before focusing on the flying overseers. Now I wish you could ping priority targets for your sentries. If that was the case, then the placement of the sentries wouldn't be so much of an issue then, right? But yeah, so don't deploy your sentries on the outside, deploy them on the inside, and just throw your grenades outside the flag to kill the Voteless before the sentries see them. Yeah, but this is so much easier to deal with the flying overseers like this when you have an Emancipator. And I have plenty of time, right, to complete the objective. The biggest problem with the monolith is just so many overseers with Tesla towers, right? But Emancipator is going to do really well because I've got one Emancipator that is still on cooldown, and this Emancipator still has a little bit of ammo. But yeah, a lot of times when you're throwing the, what's it called, these sentries, okay, and there is a harvester nearby, don't throw it in a place where the harvester can see and shoot it, okay? Where you want to deploy it is deploy the sentry around a corner away from the line of sight of the harvester, because the harvester and ground overseer are two of the slowest units in the squid roster. The Voteless will normally run at you, so they will outpace the harvester and the overseers, ground overseers, so that your sentries can focus on the Voteless. So by the time the harvester reaches you, the sentry would have killed all the Voteless, giving you plenty of time to take out the harvester at your leisure. Okay, and also you might be wondering, why am I taking the Autocannon as the support weapon? Right? I also learned earlier that the Ultimatum cannot one-shot or kill this objective, which is a bit annoying, and it's a bit... It's like... I think it's the only objective in the entire game that can only be killed by a Hell Bomb and nothing else, right? Which is interesting. I'm not going to complain about it and say that's unfair or whatever. I think that's good, right? It's alien tech, super highly advanced. I've never agreed that the Ultimatum should be able to one-shot targets like that. So, yeah, that's fine. Annoying, but fine, right? I also don't get, this is a huge oversight, but why are flying overseers affected by earthquakes, right? It makes no sense. Of course that would buff them, but, like, devs, what are you doing here, right? Flying units should never be affected by earthquakes, ever. So yeah, I don't think they're ever going to fix that, because Arrowhead just they're lazy. Okay, lazy, sloppy with their work, but this is not a arrowhead bashing video, so I'm gonna leave that be. But yeah, anyway, back to autocannons. Why do I choose autocannon, right? Is because an autocannon obviously allows me to engage ground ships from like 300 meters away. Actually, with a sickle and the autocannon, you can destroy 2 ground ships, okay? If the doors are facing you, you can kill 2 ground ships from 300 meters away in 14.5 seconds. 2 of them, if they're facing you. No other weapon inside the game can do that. That is not an exosuit. Which is insane, right? Because remember, the most powerful weapon you have against every faction is always going to be space. The space you can put between you and them, because the more space you have between you and your enemies, the more time you have to think and engage at targets at your leisure and have more time to aim and make mistakes as you try to complete your objective. Obviously, not everyone likes to play this way. They like more the Chaos Mayhem. That's you. That's fine. Right? Everyone has their own playstyle. Also, when you're wandering around the city, okay, make sure that you have a what's it called? You have a Tesla Tower destroying weapon out, because you might run into one by accident, and you won't have time to run away. You need to kill it. Also, this is super risky, right? Maybe I should have run in a different direction. I almost got killed by a Tesla Tower, and I should have had my autocannon out. But yeah, you'll see me talking about using that resupply gun, because my sentries are called Loadout, right? This, I now let myself recover my stamina by walking instead of running a little bit, simply because I know that resupply gun is going to cover my ass from that overseer, so I'm safe, right? I don't have to turn around and go around and engage it, because remember, this is all about efficiency. All my runs are about efficiency. What's the most efficient way to do it? Because that's what I find fun. It makes me feel more like a Spec Ops, where I don't have to rely on some like cartoon health pack. Okay, like I will use it, but I prefer role-playing a slightly more realistic version of it, right? I'm not so hardcore realistic that I would play, say, Armour, because I think this learning curve there is probably a little too steep. This is more of my cup of tea. But yeah, right now it's just more about farming kills, really, and completing the other objective. And the enemies are only going to spawn 7 from the map edges, because I've destroyed, well, almost. Once I destroy the last base, they'll only spawn from about 70 meters, no, from the map edge. And if I'm within 70 meters of the map edge, they won't spawn, because I'll be blocking their spawn point. What else? Oh yeah, autocannon. Why autocannon? So another reason why autocannon is I will normally use them to engage flying overseers to help out my sentries, because autocannon is the fastest flying overseer killing support weapon in the entire game, aside from the Wasp. Okay, but also one of the actually, a lot of people will be like, I can't aim. Why should I use the autocannon? It's a lot easier to aim with the heavy machine gun. Well, here's the thing. If you're trying to aim too hard, even I don't really aim with the autocannon. What I do is I no-scope. So I don't really zoom in a lot of times. Sometimes I will, but most of the time I won't if they're close enough. But the difference between me and players who struggle to shoot with the autocannon or aim is they rapid fire. They'll fire, panic, fire, 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 fire. No, I shoot, take a breather, shoot. Like, I don't panic fire. I just don't. And if a target is too far away, then I make sure, am I covered by my sentries and strafing runs first? Right. Also, that's probably not the smartest sentry, because now I'm running away. It's probably not the smartest one. But it got their attention, and I'm just going to run and find cover, because I really don't want to use a stim. And I know those flying overseers can one-shot me. But also, before I get interrupted again by the fight, is one of the biggest reasons I use autocannon is it has one advantage that no other support weapon has, that I am aware of, aside from like Quasar and so on, is the autocannon can ragdoll a harvester. Sniper can't, heavy machine gun can't, machine gun cannot. And when you can ragdoll, because it's extremely easy to ragdoll a harvester, you don't need to aim, you just shoot any part of it and it will ragdoll it for a couple of seconds. What that does is it gives you more time, more patience, and less stress to kill a harvester, because with a sniper and a machine gun or heavy machine gun, you have to hope to God that you can kill it at range before it instant snipes you with its laser beam. Okay, and also with the autocannon, you can ragdoll a harvester, therefore giving your sentry more time to shoot at it and or kill all the surrounding Voteless and Overseers. Okay, so it's a very, very, very good utility weapon, the autocannon, for these squids. Okay, but here's the thing that confuses me, is autocannon can ragdoll a harvester, but it can't really ragdoll a Biotitan or kind of stun or shake it, which is really, really strange, because the concussive force should more than enough to kind of stumble a Biotitan in the same manner as a harvester. Okay, so that's just really, really weird, because they're practically identical, right? And a harvester, I think, has, at least the head has more armor, I think, or heavier armor than a Biotitan, right? Yeah, but also, anyway, autocannon can ragdoll harvesters, chargers, ground overseers, but it can't ragdoll flying overseers. Like, what is that? Because, like, sure, the flying overseer has good armor, but so does a knight, and if you smack a knight in the chest or the head with a big ass hammer, okay, it's not going to break the armor, but boy, is it going to push that knight several meters back and stagger them or concuss them for a couple of seconds. Same thing should happen with a flying overseer when you shoot it with an autocannon. It should be stunned for just as long as a harvester, just like if you're going to shoot a Holt stun round at it, and it should be pushed back from the concussive force of an autocannon by 10 or 20 meters, which will both be funny, and it should be accurate as well. Right, so that alone, creating that delay action with the autocannon against flying overseers would make autocannon an absolute playbase favorite and clear winner compared to now, because a lot of people do not rank the autocannon high enough because they just don't know how to use it. But yeah, again, yeah, I wonder, can the Emancipator kill you by landing on you, or does it kind of not? Well, either way, yeah, as you can see, I am terrible at aiming with this thing. But yeah, like, I'm letting my sentry do its work by just continuously ragdolling that harvester while I try to kill it. And also, a lot of times, I will not shoot these guys. I shouldn't be, I'm wasting shots. Because it takes about, what? The Voteless can kill the mech suit, which is so weird. They should not be able to. Or at least as quickly as they can, because you stand around and let them slap you around 30 or 40 times, this mech suit will die. I think it should be a lot tougher against these slaps. The slaps are way too powerful from the Voteless. I don't think they've been given super strength, so it doesn't make sense. But yeah, normally you can just walk into them and cause impact damage. At least I think it's impact damage. You can cause damage to the Voteless by just walking into them. But it's also weird is that they can impede your movement. The Voteless can impede the movement of a mech, which is like a shit ton heavier. It's probably like a ton heavier, right? It's like 100 times heavier. So I don't understand why it can't push them. Which is really odd. Same with bugs as well, I think. Yeah, another reason why I didn't choose Strafing Run is it can sometimes be really unreliable with killing overseers or targeting flying overseers, or even one-shot them as it can. Because the aiming can be a bit off sometimes. But would I use this loadout for the other squid missions? No. Simply because I know I can get far more kills with a strafing run instead of an Emancipator suit. And I find it more fun instead of using Emancipator suit. There's just something about being on foot and being able to juke your enemies, dodge shots, and reposition so much better. Right, I just like being on foot. I forgot the suit is not very good at shooting down. But yeah, I'd rather take strafe and run and continue more hit and run attacks, because for the other other squid missions, you don't have to stand around. You can move however you like, and you don't have to defend some dumbass flag. Or be restricted to a certain zone and defend it for like 2 minutes straight. Actually, no, I think it's 1.5 minutes. Either way, it's not ideal. But yeah, I'm just continuously farming kills because I've got time left, and I do this for the challenge to just see how much pressure can I put my builds under before they break. Okay, because I'm trying to prove my builds are the best. If you want to prove it's the best, you've got to put it in under as much pressure as possible to see how much pressure it can take before it breaks. In a reasonable manner, right? For example, the next hardest challenge will be doing this with no HUD, but that isn't reasonable because most people don't do that. And also, it's like, if you're going to do this in kind of like real life, you would like to have these kind of indicators in your helmet in such a futuristic setting. You would be able to check how many grenades you got or how many shots you roughly have left. When you have no HUD, you can't do that. Okay, you can't check how many grenades you got left without bringing up the icons, thus defeating the point of having no HUD. But yeah, I'm baiting here. Actually, is there anything else I need to say? I've been. Trying to think of something to say, but I can't really think of anything. Oh yeah, actually, someone. Oh yeah, I remember to add that. When will my best one army, one man squid build video be up? When will it be up? Well, when Arrowhead decides to actually update this roster. That's when I'll do it, because I don't want to do that video and have it out of date like a few weeks or a month later. But God knows when Arrowhead is going to release a squid update. Maybe a month? I don't know. But I currently have, what, a 40... Like, I've already got a 40-page slideshow ready to go insanely in-depth into squids. And talk about things no one else I've seen. I've seen many squid guys out there. My guide talks about so many things that they've never considered. And I think people will like it. Because it's basically like getting a PhD in this. Okay. Yeah, I don't know when the squids will get an update. I probably shouldn't be doing this, or it should probably come out, right? Because I know there's a whole chunk of overseers chasing after me, and I'd probably like to have more ammo. Yeah, I'm about to throw a sentry. I should not be throwing out that sentry out there, because what if there is a patrol on my left behind that rock where I didn't check the map? What if there's a harvester over there? It could instantly snipe my sentry and it'd be gone, right? So, and I've just committed the same mistake. Yeah, I should not have done that. I should have placed it behind that rock so it can protect me for longer. Right, and I've just heard a harvester on the left and I'm like, shit. I really shouldn't have placed that sentry there because I have very few shots left. There's like 4 overseers over there. And there's God knows how many on the left. So, That's only barely better. I should have saved that sentry just a little bit longer. I should have run, because there's no point engaging that. I'll never kill any targets there. Right, and now I've got one flying overseer on my ass, maybe more. And I hope RNG doesn't hit me, and I hope I can kill this fucker before he kills me. Yeah, so when you do this, you need to time it correctly, okay? You wait for the enemy to shoot. Do not shoot, hoping that you can kill the enemy before you kill them, because it's not going to happen. Most of the time. They will shoot you, they will hit you. So what I like to do is like to time, and you can do this by instinct. As soon as they've shot, or while you're waiting for the flying overseer to shoot, run around, hide behind cover, dodge them from side to side. Once they finish shooting, then I can take my time to aim and shoot, and then when my gut instincts tell me again that the flying overseer is about to shoot, I can dodge again, okay? That's going to give you the highest chance of success, because you don't want to give them a stationary target. Sure, sometimes they can't shoot like the side of a barn door, but you don't want to take that risk, right? Especially on a stimulus run. But yeah, also, I'm trying to stay on this side of the map, because I think, because I'm a bit off to the east, I hope the enemy will spawn patrols from the east. Maybe I should move further into town so that patrols will spawn maybe from south instead, because the last thing I want is a shit ton of squids spawning up from the north side. I just fired over there to make sure I have 10 shots left, and maybe draw them. But I've just seen a patrol coming in from the southeast, right, at about, what, 5 o'clock, so I know, at least I hope that's a patrol. So now I know I can run forward, that there isn't really going to be a patrol spawning up north, because they can't spawn patrols every single second, right? There needs to be some kind of cooldown or whatever. I have no idea what that cooldown is. I have no feeling for that, so I just run. And I'm also fucking around too much, because you'll see that this extraction is way too close. Should I engage that target? No. One kill isn't going to make a difference to my score. Any moves, what difference? Yeah, but I timed this run so many times for so many other runs. I know where I need to be on the map. With a scout armor, it takes 2.5 minutes to go from one side to the other. So if you're in the middle, it'll only take about 1 minute and 15 seconds. So I start running about 1 minute left. And you can see I spent too long fucking around, because now the time to reach that ship is way too close to my liking. If I get ragdolled even once, bye-bye to my run. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I appreciate the fact that I redid the whole audio for this thing, and also because the previous in-game commentary, I complained a little bit too much. I didn't provide as much in-game insight to my gameplay for this game as I would have liked. But yeah, sentries are the absolute core of the most efficient squid build out there. And I don't see my loadout changing with the mech or with... I'll probably stick to strafing one. I don't see my loadout changing at all for the future squids, because the tactics, the strategies, the reasoning, they won't change. Yeah, I also swear there's a hell of a lot more enemies and spawns in the Raise the Flag mission compared to other squid missions. I'm pretty sure. How many kills did I get again? 848. Yeah, I think it was that. Okay, anyway, well, hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.